You know, I think Floyd is going to fight traditionally the way that Floyd fights. The best defensive fighter ever. I think he's going to stand his toes, he's going to move around a lot, he's going to use the ring to try to stay away from McGregor. And I think McGregor goes straight after him, tries to rough him up, and tries to knock him out. So,
I have one other question about that. Why will he be able then to have success doing that when that's basically the game plan that every single fighter for 20 years has had against Floyd that's not been a boxer, whether it's been Diego Corrales, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, go on down the list of the top guys, Barbo's Maidana, we just talked about. How can Conor, who's not a boxer, as you said, even approach the level of ability that those boxers have?
Yeah, it's what makes this fight so intriguing is that, you know, I stopped doubting Conor McGregor a long time ago. You know, this guy has, in my history with him, this guy has done everything he said he would do, including picking the round that he would do it in. So, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see how this thing plays out.
Hey, Dana, Men's Journal here. I've seen you get between Conor and a lot of fighters. It's always one of my favorite parts of the conferences. I mean, what goes through your mind when you're getting between Conor and Mayweather and breaking those conversations down?
The thing that's been great is that these guys haven't done anything to touch each other, because that's when all hell breaks loose, when somebody touches somebody else and they feel they've been disrespected in front of the whole world, and they need to retaliate. But as the tour goes on and everybody starts to get more irritated and agitated, I don't know. Yeah.
You're watching them pretty closely.
And the other thing too is the way that this thing is completely different than anything that we do. So, you know, there would never be a time where we would let two guys just stand up in front of each other. And sometimes I run up there and jump in because it's just too long. I mean, how long are we going to stand there and insult each other? You know, it's just like, all right, let's wrap this thing up and go to New York now, and you know.
Dana, Darren Ravel from ESPN.
Hey, Darren.
So, it seems like on eBay, the free tickets have been selling for 10, 20, 30, 50, 90 bucks to this thing at all stops. Do you think as a businessman you regret not selling this?
No. That's just dirty selling press conference tickets. You know, it's awesome though. It's just a testament to how powerful this fight is. But yeah, no, you can't sell tickets to a press conference.
So then let me ask you this. What do you think the trending on social media every single time, what do you think the attention then translates to? Does it translate to buys necessarily? What do you think has been accomplished thus far?
Well, it definitely translates to the biggest fight of all time. I mean, my social media guy was just out in the hallway and he was telling me when I came in that the first stop for when we were in Los Angeles, 12 million people watched on Facebook, on UFC's Facebook, just UFC's Facebook. I mean, the numbers are astronomical. And this fight is a global fight. It's a fight that the whole world is watching and the world is interested in. And it's funny because it's always the ones you don't expect, you would never think of and don't expect. Like if you'd told me a year ago I'd be at a world tour press conference for McGregor versus Mayweather, it's batshit nuts. I would have never expected that. But you know, here we are.
Hey Dana, Lloyd Carroll from the Queen's Chronicle actually kind of alluded to the question I was going to ask. When International Management Group paid you some insane amount of money to take over UFC, $4 billion was some crazy number.
Right.
Was this really the kind of event they must have imagined to get their money's worth? I mean, that's a big figure to break even. Did they come to you and say, look, we got to get this in New York State, which you did, and we have to have events like this? I mean, that's...
No, they don't come to me and say anything. I run the business, and I don't know if you remember the way that this whole thing went down is all this talk was bubbling up, and you know, literally every only thing anybody would talk to me about. I would go to promote another fight, and people would talk to me about Mayweather McGregor, and you know, it was nutty. So I think it was ESPN. I was at ESPN one day, and I said, you know what? Floyd offered you $25 million for this fight. And then TMZ got him, and he hung his watch out the window and said, yeah, you know what this watch cost? What? $25 million? I don't know. What's the live cost? So that's how this whole thing got started, and from there, that was how the negotiations began.
And just to follow up the press tour that you're doing, and a lot of these wrestlers don't like, I mean, these boxers don't like each other. How much of this came from the WWE playbook? I mean, we all grew up watching wrestling, and the two guys joining each other and throwing the insults. How much of that is part of the shit we're seeing here? Well, let's be honest, we're adults.
Well, I mean, I don't think that anybody, when we were talking about this fight, the one thing that everybody said is, you imagine how exciting the press conference is going to be. You know, I mean, that was the, if you look at Floyd, 24/7, I stopped calling it 24/7. I called it the Floyd Mayweather show. If Floyd Mayweather wasn't on 24/7, it wasn't interesting. And Conor McGregor, you know, two of the best shit talkers in both sports. You know, I don't think it's from the WWE playbook. It's both of their personalities. I mean, if I had two other guys that were promoting this fight, neither one of them could hang with either one of these guys when it comes to the shit talking. I mean, that's what these guys are known for. Obviously, they're both great fighters, but what they're really well known for is their level of shit talk. So yeah, exactly. I mean, you couldn't just say, hey, let's take a page out of the WWE playbook, because some guys have it, most guys do not.
Well, a few WWE guys make it to that level also. So.
Yeah, well, those guys have to train for about 7 years to learn how to shit talk and how to do all that stuff. These guys just naturally have it.
So Dana, you know Conor McGregor very well, and this fight, most likely he'll have some, right? Most likely he could become frustrated like many other fighters have been against Mayweather.
Right.
May not be able to be effective. So does he have the temperament to not do anything other than box, pretty much, with his style and with also what he's been as a competitor?
Say that again? What was the...
Does he have the temperament to not do anything else other than box?
He would be sued beyond belief if he does anything but hit Floyd Mayweather with his hands to the head and body. I mean, it would be a very bad... Yeah, that can't happen. That can't happen. There's actually language in the contract that can't happen. But yeah, I mean, if one of the things that has made Floyd Mayweather, you know, as great as he is and go on the streak that he's on, speed kills. Floyd Mayweather has incredible defense and he's fast. But here's reality. Reality is Floyd Mayweather will be 41 years old this year. Conor McGregor is a southpaw. If there's any kink in that armor, if you want to look at one thing, you know, you could call it southpaws when Floyd goes up against southpaws. McGregor's 28 years old, and he hits like a truck. When Mayweather hits people, when McGregor hits people, he hurts them. And when he hurts them, he finishes them. So, in a 12-round fight, is Conor ever going to hit him once? I believe he will. I believe he'll hit him more than once. And we'll see what happens when Floyd gets hit.
Conor was like widely lambasted at first training videos where he looked pretty amateurish on social media. He can't really be that bad, right? Like,
well, I think that the footage that the kid posted that sparred with him, is that what you're talking about?
Well, there was that, and there's also the videos that Conor posted himself, and then him heading the heavy bag, these like wide looping shots.
Yeah, listen, he's not a boxer. If you're looking for boxing type technique from Conor McGregor, you're not going to get it. You're not going to see it. But you know, the kid can fight. He hits like, you know, when he hits you, guys go, everybody that this kid has fought said, oh yeah, he knocked this guy out, but he ain't knocking me out. And as soon as he touches guys with his hands, they're hurt. So, listen, if Conor McGregor didn't have the punching power that he does, what we're even talking about right now, I mean, it'd be a completely different, there wouldn't be the interest that there is.
You know, this is of course a financial windfall for you in the UFC, but is there any
issue? You know, how many guys in the UFC do you think I got texting me right now going, I want to box this guy and I want to box that guy? And you know, it's not as simple as they see Conor doing this and this big thing. There's not going to be the interest out there that there is in this fight. This fight is interesting because it's two of the right people in the right place at the right time. That's it. No, believe me, this is something I'm going to be dealing with for the next 3 years because we did this. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
How do you feel about the public apology and Floyd saying that you've done a hell of a job
to be honest with you, you know, everything he said, you know, about he and I is true, you know, how long we've known each other and everything else. This is the fight business. I don't take any of that personal. I don't take any of that stuff personal. I never felt like I was owed any type of apology from Floyd, but it was nice of him to do. But yeah, this is the fight business, man. And listen, who talks more shit about people than I do? So I can take it.
And was there any thought ever of Conor McGregor possibly being hurt and not being the full fighter at the UFC that he is today?
What do you mean being hurt?
I'm sorry. Being like knocked out or breaking an orbital bone or something like that, and not being able.
Oh, in this fight, yeah. Conor wanted this fight, and we're doing it for him. You know, this guy's done that. You know, for those of you that just cover boxing and not mixed martial arts, the guy has stepped up in big fights for us and done a lot for the company and obviously for the sport. And he wanted to do this, so we're doing it. Whatever happens, happens. It's a fight. He's a fighter, and whatever happens, happens.
Dana,
Shit. I mean, I'm sorry. There's so much money in this thing, he might never fight again. You know? Never mind getting hurt and not being able to fight the end of this year. You get a check like this, you know, it might be the end of it.
What do you think his gross pay will be?
What do I think, what?
His gross pay will be at the end of all
Oh shit, I don't know. It depends on what we do on pay-per-view. You know, both these guys are partners in the pay-per-view, so, as well as the pay. Depends on what you think it'll do. You know, Vegas has the line set at the over-under is 4.9 million buys. If it does 4.9 million buys, Conor, shit. I might not come back again.
Dana,
Yeah.
Carl Stroh from Fightful.com. When you're up there in the stage for the last couple of days and you see Conor and Floyd just jawing at each other, do you kind of ever get a little bit worried that things might get a little too heated and both start to get physical?
Yeah.
I know Conor's been trying to use a chair against Eddie last year.
Yeah. Well, just to be fair to Conor, when Eddie got up, I guess the chair had fallen over when he got up and sat down. So Conor thought he threw a chair. I thought he threw the chair at us too. And then Conor picked up a chair and monster cans and yeah, he gets a little crazy. So yeah, I get worried about it. You know, Floyd's team, those guys are real mellow, and Floyd's not gonna hit him, but I do worry about that. Yeah, it would not be good. Plus, both camps have so many guys. Imagine if a fight broke out up there. I'm too old for that shit.
You said earlier when asked about Conor maybe doing something other than punching, he'd be sued. Would it purse be effective?
100%. Absolutely. I mean, if you look at Mayweather, you can include this fight, his last 3 fights, and the amount of money that he brought in, right? I mean, when you go to court, any lawsuit is always about damages, and the damages on Mayweather, if something like that happened, would be massive. That can't happen. So.
Is there anything in the contract that's to do with what a percentage or?
Yeah, well, first of all, it doesn't even, forget about the contract. I mean, he would just sue him. He would have a lawsuit against him that would be incredibly, I mean, it would destroy Conor's life, and Mayweather would win. Mayweather would win that lawsuit.
You said it can't happen. Is there any concern that it could happen, or are you pretty confident it won't?
It can't happen. It absolutely cannot happen. Listen, Conor is a bit of a wild man. But he likes money as much as Floyd does, so if he wants Floyd to have all his money, that's the way to do it.
Dan, Mike Harris from Sports Illustrated, back over here. I apologize if you addressed this in earlier stops. I've been intrigued since this was announced. Your opinion, mixed martial arts and boxing are 2 different sports. So what's at stake, for lack of a better term, for MMA and something like this? If Conor wins, is it a huge boost? If he loses, does it damage the sport, or is it a positive either way? How does that play in your mind?
Yeah, I don't know. The thing obviously has to play out to see, where the chips fall. But at the end of the day, I think that this is a great thing for combat sports as a whole. I think it's a great thing for boxing, and I think it's a great thing for mixed martial arts. yeah, at the end of the day, the only thing that I really focus on, and it's always been my philosophy, is I hope it's a good fight. You know, because as many people as that tune in for this thing, whether you stay home on Saturday night or you come out to Vegas and make a weekend of it, as long as everybody walks away going, damn, that was a good fight, then nobody gets hurt. But if the fight sucks, it's always bad. It's always bad. It's bad for all combat sports, boxing and the UFC.
Hi Dana, Michael O'Regan here from the Irish News. Just touching, and I said it to Stephen a while ago, are you disappointed that you're not going to Ireland tomorrow and that you are going to London? I know the people of Ireland really would have been looking forward to this at Croke Park, as well as you know, 100,000 people, I think, could have filled it.
I agree with you 100%. You know, I don't know if they were crazy about going to Ireland, you know, London.
Do you think that Floyd
I had to push for London too.
Scary.
Just to get to London. Yeah, I mean, for a guy like Floyd, you're going to go into Ireland and, you know.
It's a lovely place.
What hotel are you going to You know what I mean? It's just like, I get it. I totally get it. So London is more, you know, or you know, I don't know if it's going to be neutral territory for Floyd, but it's definitely not landing in Dublin and staying in some, you know, at one of the hotels in Dublin and have, you know, it would have been tough to pull that one off.
That's it.
Yeah. But you know, last time we went on the world tour with Jose, we went to Dublin.
We remember that.
Incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Now, Dana, I'm a casual UFC fan, so I don't claim to know everything about UFC.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor seems to be the biggest name in the UFC. If he can't do anything with a 40-year-old Mayweather, is it safe to say that no UFC fighter can actually beat a boxer at boxing from here on out?
Well, that's like saying, could 40-year-old Mayweather come in and fight in the UFC? That fight would be over in less than a second.
But Mayweather claimed not to, you know, he would never step into the octagon.
His claim is that he wouldn't?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
There's
definitely.
been UFC fighters, including like Ryan Rousey and stuff like that, who have called him out. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, no, he definitely wouldn't step into the octagon, but, you know, Connor's going in there and Connor's stepping out of his world and into Floyd's world to try to face him. I don't know if I answered your question, but I tried.
Dana, you joked before about, you know, maybe McGregor doesn't come back after this fight.
Right.
Is that a legit concern for you? And is there anything contractual that says?
No, listen, I'm never concerned whether guys or girls are leaving or coming and going. It's in this business, you have to listen. Conor's been great for this sport. He's been great to this company. And if the kid makes a bunch of money and wants to take off and do something else, good for him. You know, it's never a concern. My job is to keep finding new up and coming talent, and I will continue to do that as long as I'm here.
How much will you talk to Bob Bennett about the choice of the referee? Because we all know Floyd hates, you know, clinches and likes to have referees that separate fighters right away.
Yeah.
Clinch. How much will you try to work on that? How
Yeah.
to ref the less than work on the inside?
Well, that's the next, you know, we're out here on this tour, and tickets are going to go on sale, and, you know, all the things that have to happen. And then after all this is behind us, all that stuff's we're going to get into, because I'm sure we're going to have some discrepancies on who refs, who judges, all that type of stuff. So, yeah, all that battle will start after this tour. Last question. Two more questions. All right, we'll go two more. Go ahead, we'll do two more. Hey, buddy.
Hi, Dana. Matt Cole from Art Voice.
Hi.
Sorry if this is a repeat, but the UFC logo is noticeably absent on the banner behind you and has been. Curious if you can comment on the company's official involvement.
Whose logo? Mine?
The UFC.
Yeah.
Your logo is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because all this stuff is bullshit. it's ego stuff. You know, I don't care about that stuff.
Could you just maybe elaborate a little on the company's official involvement, UFC's official involvement in the?
Well, you know, I have Conor. So if this is a UFC event, we do everything. literally everything. We're not affiliated. Well, even when we do Fox fights, we produce the shows that are on Fox. In the boxing world, there's a lot of different people that are involved. You know, I did the deal with Al Heyman and T. Mayweather. Conor McGregor is under contract with us. We're letting everybody, you know, do the thing for this fight, and you know, Conor wanted this, so we're going to let it happen. But as far, I don't care about our name on the banner or any of that stuff. That kind of stuff doesn't matter to me.
How you doing, Dana? This is Terrell from Rugby360.com. My question to you is, have you put thought into the fact that with this boxing training and the fact that McGregor's been, you know, training for boxing with his Mayweather fight for, I guess, for over a year now, that he's going to be much sharper going back to the UFC? Like, he's already known as being a devastating striker. So what's your thoughts on him going back to the UFC, whatever the outcome of this fight, and how that would affect him facing other opponents in the future?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't know if focusing on one thing for a while hurts him or helps him. You know, I don't. He told me yesterday that he did some grappling just because he wanted to. He said he was jonesing and did a little bit of grappling yesterday. But yeah, so, you know, like we were just saying a minute ago, whether he makes a bunch of money and doesn't fight again or whatever ends up happening after this fight, but he right now he wants to fight before the end of the year in the UFC. You know, whatever happens on August 25th. So we'll see. You know, we'll see when he gets back in there, if he gets back in there, how the whole thing plays out. But go ahead.
But you would have to assume that he's going to be sharp. I mean, he's fighting Mayweather, and then with his training that he's doing, and he's already known as being like somebody, as Leonard Ellerby says, when he touches people, they go down.
Right.
You know, so
Well,
this has to help him win or loss, right?
Well, he's the only fighter ever in UFC history to hold two belts at the same time, 45, 55-pound belt. His last showing against the champ Eddie Alvarez, he knocked him out, you know, in impressive fashion. I don't know how much sharper you can get. He's pretty sharp as it is. So, you know, hopefully he looks sharp on the 26th too. Yep. Yeah, before the end of the year, we'll be back at the Garden. Yeah, and then we'll be back here ASAP because I owe Brooklyn one, man. That's for damn sure. Our last showing here wasn't the best, so I owe Brooklyn a fight.
Who's going to commentate for the fight?
Who's going to commentate this?
Yes.
This fight?
Yes.
We don't know yet, but it's going to be Showtime. This is a Showtime event. So Fox, Big Fox, has the rights to some of the prelims. So there'll be a whole pre-show on Fox, and there'll be a whole another cast of guys breaking down the fight. We're gonna do some fun stuff on Fox. We got some cool ideas, so Fox show will be fun.
Dana, is there anyone comparable? Because, you know, boxing and MMA are different, that you could compare Conor McGregor's power to? Is he at the level of a Canelo Alvarez or Triple G? I know you're fans. Yeah, what's his power comparable to?
Yeah, I don't know who you would compare his power to, and I don't know if in a while we'll see. When Conor McGregor touches you, if you go back, if you're a pure boxing guy, go back and look at some of the McGregor fights. When he touches these guys, they're on crazy legs. And then once he's very calm and composed when he hurts you, and when he hurts you, he finishes you. You know, it's I don't know. It reminds me, I guess, it reminds me of the days of like Trinidad in his prime. You know, remember when Trinidad would just touch guys and they'd be on crazy legs, and you know, it kind of reminds me of that.
All right.
Tito Trinidad power. Cool. Go ahead, buddy.
If Conor comes back to UFC for another fight, any ideas of who you want him to match up with?
Well, there's a couple of fights that need to play out before that happens. So timing's perfect, and yeah, it should all line up.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Have a good night.